like this first one, we're asked to find this side of a triangle. How do we know which law we're going to use? We're going to use the law of cosines. We're going to use the law of sines. Where do we get started on that? So I made just a little chart, and we can go over this again on Monday too. But a little chart of how we're going to choose. The choice is going to be pretty easy on this worksheet for now, but on Monday I'll give you some more that are mixed in. But there isn't anything new that we're learning today. As well as wrap up, we're going to be using both the law of sines and cosines today. I don't know if we'll get to the review of the cosines today, but basically, how do you know which one to start with if you're just given a triangle? Are we going to start with the law of sines, or are we going to start with the law of cosines? Anybody have an idea of what we want to look for? Yeah. Okay. So, like, what specifically would tell us it's a law of sines or a law of cosines? How would you know?
Side.
Okay. Good. Almost always that's the case. Yeah, almost always. There is one exception. So for a law of sines, these first two here, and you don't have to write this down if you don't want to. It's up to you. But these first two, angle side angle and side angle angle, this is when we're given two angles. So anytime we're given two angles, we're going to be using the law of sines, because either one of those angles matches with the side, or we can just solve for the third angle. So anytime you have two angles, we're going to definitely do law of sines. The only other case would be side angle, and the reason why is because this already has a pair, because the angle is going to be opposite the side, so it's given a pair. So if we already have a pair, like a big B and a little b, then we know we're going to do the law of sines. It's the easiest way to do it. And then there was two times where we're going to do the law of cosines. That was like the last 2 days we did that. Do you remember what those two are? Yeah.
Side angle side and side.
Good. Side angle side and side. So if we're given all sides, we definitely got to use law of cosines. And if we're given two sides, and it's called the included angle, we also do law of cosines too. Like I said, mostly Monday we'll get to law of cosines. Okay, so let's take a look at that worksheet. We're going to be doing like half of them together, and then you guys will do half on your own. And probably will just be on the front today. And the plan was to do the whole thing, but the shortened period kind of limits what we can do. So let's start with this first side. What you are going to want to do on these is it's not given, and that'll be the case with most problems. It doesn't like define these sides like little b, little c, all that stuff. But we're going to just define it in that way. So like AC will be this side. What is that the same as? Yeah, little b, right? Because it's opposite of big B. So when we're asked to find little b, we are in this case, first thing we want to do is look and see if we have a pair. We have a pair. Yeah, we got a pair here, right? We got the A's. So that's going to be a law of sines because we got a pair. So we're going to start with our pair. Sine of 92 over our little a, which is 15. And we're trying to find little b, right? That's opposite of the big B. We already got big B, so we can set that equal to sine of 28 over little b. So from there, just kind of refresh your memory, we're going to do our cross multiplying. And the way that we write it would be sine of 92b equals, multiply here, 15 sine 28. And then we just divide to get the b by itself. Divide by sine 92. Divide by sine 92. And then we'll have b. Give me a second to type that in. supposed to round to the nearest tenth on these. All right, what did we get?
7.04 something.
Good, yeah. 7.04, so we'll get to 7. Yeah, 7 yards. And then it's just a good idea to make sure this makes sense in the context of the problem. So this other side we were given, 92, opposite of that was 15. So 28 should be a much smaller side, right, opposite of it. And it is, 7 is also smaller than 15. So that seems to make sense. Okay, let's drop down and try number 3. Find AC. This one, this side here. Which again is going to be defined as little b. And let's think about what we have. Think about if we need to use the law of sines or cosines. So we're given 2 angles, right? And now we don't have a pair. So we don't have a pair, which means we can't go right off the bat. But we do have 2 angles, so that means we're still going to want to use the law of sines. What do we need to do first here?
The 83.
Yeah, we need to find this third angle here, right? Find big C, so then we'll have a pair with big C and little c. So if we just do 180 and subtract those 2, then we can get big C and then we'll have a pair. So that should be 59 degrees. Right there. So now we've got a pair. We've got 59 matches with 25. So that's going to be our pair. Sine 59 over 25. And we're looking for the little b, so we want to do a sine of 83 over the little b. We'll then cross multiply. Get sine 59 times b equals 25 sine of 83. And then we divide there, get our b. So we're going to come up with Everybody got it? What do we get? 29. Let's make sure that makes sense. We had 59 that gave us 25 opposite. 83 should have a bigger side, which it is. 28 bigger. So seems like it works. Let's drop down to number 5. Try that one. In this one, we are asked to find an angle. Let's see which one we want to use here. Do we have a pair given? Yeah, it gave us a pair, right? It gave us an angle on the side opposites. Think of all signs, and let's just start by writing the pair. Whatever we do, we know we're going to use that pair. So let's go ahead and write it. Sine of 28 over 32. All right, now we're supposed to find big B in this one, right? And let's just make sure we got little b. So look across, we do have little b, so that's good. This one's going to be the sine of big B over 21. Now this one will be a bit different because we are solving for the angle rather than a side here. We multiply it across this way. We're going to write this as 21 sine 28. Write that 21 in front of it. And then here we got 32 sine B equals 32. And then what do we do at that point? Mostly right, because we're just going to divide by 32 right now. because you can't divide by a sign. But what you can do to get rid of that sign, remember to do is the inverse sign. So we're going to do b equals, do that sign, inverse sign, which is the semicolon -1 of this big fraction we got here. And we want to sign it. Anybody get that one?
17.
Good. C is 17.9 degrees. And again, just double check that it makes sense. Yeah, it should be, this one's 28, 32 matches it. So 17 should be less than that. And these triangles actually make sense as far as the angles go. They're actually the right angles, so it makes a little more sense than when we were drawing them around. All right, now this last section, we have to solve the triangle. Up to this point, all of the problems have been just finding this side or finding this angle. But now we're going to solve it. And if you remember, solving the triangle means to find all of the angles and all of the sides. So you've got 3 problems to do that. We're going to do one of them together. So let's start with number 7, do that one together. The first thing you want to do is look and see if we have a pair. We do have a pair, right? Big A and little a, that would be a pair. And let's figure out the things that we don't have. In other words, things we need to find. We don't know what big C is, so we need to find that. We don't know what little b is over here. And we don't know what little c is. So there's really 3 things we got to find. Big C and little c, and also little b. Anybody have an idea of what we should get first?
Start off with the inside one on big C by
Okay.
adding the other.
Yeah. That works. Yeah, let's get big C. I got 37. Yeah, now we're going to get little b. Alright, so we take our pair, sine of 109 over 22. And to get little b, we got to use big B. Cross multiply. Sine of 109b. Equals 22 sine of 4. And divide. B equals anybody got that one? Mm-hmm. Yes, alright, we got one more to get though. Can't stop yet, we got to get little c. So we use the same ratio that we used up here. We did that same one, sine 109 over 22. And we'll set it equal to sine 37, so that's big C, over little c. We did the same process, sine of 109c equals 22 sine 37. And divide your little c. Alright, everybody get that one?
18.
Alright, so. Alright. So that's it. If you guys can do that, you can do the whole front. This period's over at 42, so you got like 9 minutes to work on it, and you need to finish the front, so you've got like those 5 problems: 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. So for Monday, finish the month. Make sure to ask for help if you need some around